Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Mornings with Granny. How many of you got snow last night? We didn't get any snow, but I know the upper country of South Carolina did. And I think they did around Charlotte too, which is about 40 miles or so from me. But anyway, I'm cooking for Mom today, and I thought I'd bring you along. She wanted some cabbage and corned beef. Now, got the cabbage cooking right here, and all I did was take a couple pieces of salt pork, because we like to cook with this, just to give it some seasoning, and I fried that off to get a little bit of grease from it, and then I sliced up about a 2-pound cabbage, put that in there, and I'm just letting it kind of wilt down. A little bit of sugar, salt and pepper, and she wanted some corned beef, and this is what she likes right here. So I'm going to cook that with some onions for her. Now this is the salt pork that I cooked down. I don't know if you can see it or not. There you go. When you cook that down, it's still got a lot of flavor in it, so don't throw it away. What I do is I put it in the freezer and save it to use for some beans later. There's no point in throwing it out and then getting more when you can still reuse this. We went to Walmart in Monroe yesterday. Excuse me a minute. Anyway, she needed to get some stuff. So I took her up there, and we went to the thrift store while we were there, and I'll tell you in a minute what I got there. But when we got home, I took her home. She got her groceries out, and she called me. She said she was missing a bag of groceries. I said, okay, I'll call Walmart and tell them I'll come back up there in a couple days and get them, because they're in the next town over. I called Walmart 17 times last night. I let that phone ring 20 times each time. They would not answer. I tried every department. The only answer I got was the pharmacy, and they said they couldn't transfer me. So I called the Lancaster store, South Carolina. Asked them, was I dialing the wrong number? I knew I wasn't, because it was on the receipt and I checked it online. And she answered on the second ring now. Second ring. She said, oh, ma'am, I don't know what to tell you. I called back this morning. Twice. I let it ring 40 times. No one answered that phone. I fired a letter off to corporate, because this is not the first time I've had trouble with that Walmart. Back about, it was October, I think. I was trying to find out if they had something before Mom and I went up there. They wouldn't answer the phone. They would not answer that phone. So I'm a little bit irritated with Walmart. But anyway, we went to the thrift store, and let me grab it and I'll show you what I got. I bought 2 oil lamps. This one was gently used, and the other one that matched it was new. They were $6 for both. They had 30% off, so that makes it what, $4.20 for both. And then I picked up crocheting again when I was going through my emotionally depressed stage, and I wanted some yarn, so they had some different size balls of yarn. So I picked up a Walmart bag full, the regular size Walmart bag. And it was $5 with 30% off, so that was what, $3.50 for that. So that's what we bought yesterday, and I also got 4 loaves of bread free. Well, one was a loaf of bread, one was dinner rolls, one was a multi-grain loaf of bread, and the other one was sub rolls. So I can use those, put them in the freezer, save them for later, take out what I need. But we had a good day, except for my incident with Walmart. I don't like going to Walmart anyway, but Mom needed to go. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get this can of corned beef open. I don't like these little keys. They're not user-friendly with us older people. It's hard to turn them. That one turned a little bit easier than usual. She doesn't like the, I guess you would call it the fresh corned beef. She likes it canned like this. And when we were kids, she used to cook it a lot. And we would make sandwiches out of it. But since she's gotten older, she doesn't cook that much. I need a knife. And honestly, I don't cook that much anymore. But I'm going to put a little bit of oil in here because all we're going to do is just basically heat it up and let it get brown. I'll tell you what, groceries are going up. These vary in price anywhere from, it's about $3.98 to $5.98 for this little can. But this was what she wanted, so I'm glad she's still here, that I can still do stuff. So how about it? Did you guys get snow or not? I know some of you already had some. My sister lives in Tennessee and they had got some for Christmas. I asked her, did it snow last night? And she said no. Just going to break this up a little bit. And we'll let it start browning. And then I've diced up about a half of a small onion. I'm going to put in here for her. And when it cools enough for me to pick it up and carry it out, I'm going to take it to her for lunch. I'm going to put you on pause for just a second. Okay. My grandmother, my mom's mom, used to cook cabbage a lot, and I can remember her sitting in the rocking chair, and she would take a wedge of cabbage, and she'd take that knife and just little tiny slivers, because my grandfather had trouble swallowing, and he loved cabbage, so she'd sit there and make little tiny, tiny slivers with that knife. She used to scare me because she was cutting toward her. But I can remember her sitting there rocking, watching TV, cutting that cabbage up. She also used to cook, I don't know if you guys, let me know, have ever cooked at lettuce and onions. She's the only person I know that ever cooked lettuce and onions. She would take the lettuce, core it, chop it up like you do the cabbage, and then she'd chop up what we call the spring onions, the little green onions with the little stalk to them, or green top. And she'd put a little bit of oil in the pan, frying pan, and she'd wilt it down. And then we'd pinch it up with what she called light bread, which is white loaf bread. You'd get a piece of bread and just pinch up some lettuce and onions and eat it like that. But I don't know anybody else that's ever cooked that. Let me know if you guys have. It's funny what you remember when you're cooking. I wish I'd paid more attention to my grandparents, what they did. So young'uns, if you're listening to me, pay attention. Because once we're gone, we're gone. I noticed in Walmart yesterday that some of the items, the shelves were empty. It was mainly canned vegetables. Some of the meats were gone as far as canned meats. And then I know some of the pastas and pasta sauces were thinner. And I've noticed that in our local stores too. I was wondering if you guys are still having trouble keeping things on the shelf. I think people are starting to panic by it again, and the reason I say that is because, one, the election, they don't know what's going to happen. Two, another round of virus, we don't know if we'll go into another lockdown or not. So I think that's one reason that we're seeing limits come back and shortages on the shelves. I was talking to Mom going up to Monroe yesterday. I said, have you ever in your lifetime, she's 84, seen things that are going on now? And she said, never like this. And I said, I haven't either. I'll be 67 next month, and I don't remember anything compared to this. Which I know some of you are going to say, you remember the 1918 flu, which my grandmother was about 7 years old when that hit. She took care of her family. They had the 1918 flu, Spanish flu. But it's just biblical times we're living in. The Bible says these things will happen. And they are. They are happening just as the Bible says. Alright, I think my cabbage is done. Now all I gotta do is finish browning up this beef. I'm gonna go ahead and add chopped onions in. I'm gonna see if I can move you down a little bit without dropping you so you can see what the beef looks like. Put those in there. I'm gonna stir that up. Let those onions caramelize just a little bit along with the beef. And Mom's got lunch for a couple of days, or dinner, or wherever she wants to eat it. And I don't have to worry about it. I took some soup to my aunt yesterday, the one that makes the quilts that y'all saw. She was making a lot more mask. Put a little bit of water in that cabbage because it seems a little dry to me. She was working on some more masks, so I told her I'd come by there and bring her some lunch because I had made some red potato soup. My daughter ate with me the night before, so I went by and took that before I took Mom to Wally World. Alright, see how this corned beef, let's see if I can get you down without dropping you. Corned beef is starting to cook. I know this is a terrible angle, but doing the best I can with what I got, folks. Alright, I'm going to let this finish up. Like I said, the cabbage is done. All I got to do is cut it off, put it in a bowl for her. The corned beef is pretty much done. It'll be done in a couple of minutes. So I am going to get off here, get ready, and take my mom some lunch. I hope you guys have a good day. Give this a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Bye-bye for now.